Nico Harrison is out as general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. Let's talk about it. Is anyone surprised by this? Nico Harrison, if it were me, would have been fired the second he even tried to trade Luka Doncic. If I'd been the owner of the team and I got wind that he was trying to do this, he would have been gone before he pulled the trigger. Look, there were many people that made excuses for Nico when it happened, saying, oh, well, Luka's out of shape, he's not committed, he doesn't play defense, blah, 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 blah. And realistically, there is no defense for this, but there were detractors, probably mostly either Laker fans or Dallas Mavericks fans, trying to justify the trade from one point or another. Say, if it's Dallas Mavericks fans saying, we'll be fine. But Luka Doncic, no matter which way you spin it, is one of the best scorers to ever touch the basketball. You can question his defense, you can do whatever you want, but he did get the Dallas Mavericks to the finals 2 seasons ago, the season before he was traded. And it was just by luck, to the point where we talked about it, like, oh, what a turn of luck that he trades Luka Doncic, not so arguably the worst trade in NBA history, and then somehow ends up with the first overall pick in the lottery when a guy like Cooper Flagg is in the draft. And let's be clear, like, you can't rig the lottery, you can't make a trade and assure you're going to get the first pick like you do in football, where you get the worst record and you get the first pick. That's not how it works in the lottery system. It's just kind of like you're thrown in there, and then that's why they do the drawing to see who ends up with that pick. So it just so happens that the Dallas Mavericks got that pick. So that's not any of Nico Harrison's doing. Maybe losing a few extra games at the end of the season upped their chances, but that's about as well as you could do. So you can't really credit Nico Harrison for getting Cooper Flagg. And even if you do, Cooper Flagg is really, really, really good, but I do not think him to be generational. I've already talked about this in a video. I don't think that he's not Wemby. He's not LeBron James. He's not a guy that's going to come in and turn your franchise around. He's not Luka. And so fast forward through the first 11 games of the season, that's where we are when this is being recorded. We're 11 games into the season, and all we saw this offseason was how in great shape Luka Doncic is, which I feel like we see most off seasons, where we talk at the end of the season how out of shape Luka is, and then in the off season he looks good. We see video from Slovenia or in the gym and he looks in shape, and I feel like this is the narrative. Maybe not every off season, but several off seasons where it's like, oh, Luka's in shape now. So that didn't really catch my attention that much. But then you look on the court, and not only are the Lakers 8-3 without LeBron James to start the season, but Luka Doncic is averaging 37.1 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 9.1 assists in those first 11 games. And as I said, the Lakers are 8-3. Austin Reeves is playing really well. And they don't even have LeBron James yet, who is nearing a return to make his season debut, because he just practiced for the first time. He's going to go do some rehab games in South Bay. That was announced today. So, like, I feel like this Lakers team is only going to get better. Luka's averaging 37 points a game, a near triple-double. And then on the flip side of that, you look at the Dallas Mavericks, who were hoping that they would have this big three of Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving to make up for the fact that Luka Doncic is gone. But Kyrie Irving is out for the foreseeable future. Jason Kidd, before the season started, refuted a report that Kyrie Irving was ahead of schedule following his injury from last season. Anthony Davis has only played 5 games and has said that he won't return until he gets the okay from the owner from a calf strain. And then you have Cooper Flagg, who has played all 11 games and is averaging 15 points and almost 7 rebounds, which is about all you can ask from a rookie whose job it is at this point to help a franchise be relevant after one of the worst moves in NBA history. All you can really ask for him is what he's doing. 15 points and 7 rebounds. Because I don't think he's the guy that's going to give you 30 and 15. Wemby was that guy. LeBron was that guy. So many other players were that guy. Cooper Flagg is a good player. I think his ceiling can be like a Tim Duncan, maybe. But Tim Duncan was a system guy. Tim Duncan was paired with a great head coach. Tim Duncan had great teammates. I don't think, and we'll never know, I don't think if Tim Duncan was on a team by himself, if the Spurs even win half of their championships. So it's not bad to say that Cooper Flagg's ceiling could maybe be something close to Tim Duncan, but that's certainly not flashy. Certainly not going to get you anywhere near the finals if you're out here by yourself, and right now that's what he is. Kyrie Irving out. Anthony Davis only played 5 games, and both of those guys are well past their primes, so these injuries are going to continue to be a reality if and when they're on the floor. Dallas's best player right now is P.J. Washington, averaging 15.5 points and 8.3 rebounds, both team highs right now. Dallas is 3-8, which is good enough, I should say good enough, for second worst record in the Western Conference. The only team that is worse are the 2-8 New Orleans Pelicans, and in the Eastern Conference there are 3 teams that are 1-10. The Brooklyn Nets, the Indiana Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton, and the Washington Wizards. So, the new-look Dallas Mavericks with Cooper Flagg, and that's it, have the 5th worst record in the NBA. And they do have Klay Thompson, but he is a role player. They will probably have Anthony Davis soon, and he is averaging 20 points a game, but this will probably be far from the only injury he suffers this season. And who knows when Kyrie's coming back. So, of course, Nico Harrison is gone. He should have been gone 5 minutes before the Luka Doncic trade was made official. The second the rest of the front office got wind that this could be happening, they should have said, "You're out of here." 4 years in, Nico Harrison is out of a job. He's already changed his Twitter or X bio to say unemployed. And I've brought this up in several videos with Nico Harrison, and you could say that has nothing to do with anything, maybe it doesn't. But let's not forget that Nico Harrison is the same guy that botched a presentation to Stephen Curry by calling him Seth and then using the exact same presentation he gave to Kevin Durant, didn't even change all the details. So that, and the fact that they weren't giving Steph his own signature shoe at that time, is the reason that Steph left Nike for Under Armour. Now you juxtapose that with not so arguably the worst trade in NBA history, but maybe one of the worst trades in sports history, and of course he's gone. All I hear from those two stories is incompetence. You could say, oh, well, they were in the finals 2 years ago. Yes, and Luka was in the building. This reeks to me, the whole trading Luka away, this reeks to me of Jerry Krause with the Chicago Bulls. He built this whole juggernaut around Michael Jordan, 6 titles in the 90s, and because he did it once, he was confident in breaking them up in 1998 because he thought he was the magic formula. He thought he could do it again. So Nico Harrison looked at the success of the Dallas Mavericks in 2023 and said, "It's me. I got it. It's me." And the only good thing that has happened to Dallas since he made that horrible decision was they lucked into the top overall pick for Cooper Flagg. A really good player. Really good. And I'm not discounting that, but I do not think he can lead you to a championship. I think he can be a heck of a number 2 to a healthy superstar. I don't think Cooper Flagg is going to be a superstar. I think he's going to be a really good number 2 in this league. You can hate me for saying that, but that's just the way that I feel. that you traded away a bona fide superstar, one of the great scorers this game has seen, and you downgraded. I wouldn't say that Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis at this point in his career, Kyrie Irving at this point in his career, I wouldn't say the three of them combined right now are worth one Luka Doncic. Again, you might think that's another bombastic claim, but I'm just telling you what I think. I think this was a long time coming. I think this should have happened the second the owner got wind that Nico Harrison wanted to make this trade, because this screams incompetence when you factor in the history with Nike. Again, it feels like Jerry Krause, falsely believing that he could do it. Falsely believing that he was the reason, not Michael and Scotty and Phil. It's bravado. It's pride. I feel like this was pride on Nico Harrison's part to say, I'm the reason we got to the finals in 2021, not Luka Doncic. And then to justify the trade of Luka Doncic, brought up weight and defense and all these other things. And yes, those things are question marks. But what player doesn't have at least one question mark? And Luka Doncic had the Dallas Mavericks consistently in the playoffs. And Luka Doncic is averaging 37 points a game for an 8-3 Lakers team without LeBron James. He could justify all he wanted, but there was no logic, no reasoning, and no good argument to be made for shipping off Luka Doncic, and your consolation prize is Cooper Flagg, and an old banged up Anthony Davis, and an old banged up Kyrie Irving. Those equations don't equal each other. Luka Doncic on one side, Flagg, Davis, and Irving on the other. They're not the same. I'm taking Luka Doncic 100 out of 100 times, and once for good luck. So, of course he's gone. His fate was sealed a long time ago, and the 3-8 start by the Dallas Mavericks, combined with the 8-3 start of Luka and the Lakers without LeBron James, were the nail in the coffin. Again, I feel like I'm crapping on Cooper Flagg, which is not what I'm trying to do. I just don't think Cooper Flagg is going to be generational. I think he's going to be really, really good. And the Tim Duncan comparison might be a little lofty. I'm not saying he's going to end his career as accomplished as Tim Duncan. But I'm saying in terms of, I think he's going to be really, really, really solid. But he's not going to be a guy that you can jump on his shoulders and he can carry you to success. Tim Duncan has a handful of rings because he had a great coach and he had a great supporting cast. He was the face of that team, but he wasn't like this incredible, athletic, jump out of the building star player. I think Cooper Flagg could be that. They called Tim Duncan the big fundamental for a reason. Like when we talk about LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Giannis, the word fundamental does not come to mind. Not because they're not fundamentally sound, but because their gifts are wildly beyond the bounds of just being fundamental. They're athletic, exciting. Throw Wemby in that as well. Have tremendous gifts that put them in a tier above most of the other players in the league. That's why they're the greats. Tim Duncan will go down in NBA history as a great winner and a great player, but he's not in that category because he alone is not a superstar. He won a lot of championships as the leader because he was the big fundamental and was surrounded by greatness as well. Again, that's not to diminish Tim Duncan. I would say that Tim Duncan's probably the best power forward in the history of the NBA. That's Cooper Flagg's ceiling, but he's not going to be able to do it alone. I just don't think that's the kind of player he is. So from that standpoint, they lost the trade the second they made it. There wasn't a player in that draft that could have made that trade worth it. You might disagree with me, and that's okay. When it comes to sports, we always disagree. I've gotten some comments recently where it's like, you might disagree with me, but, I'm not going to yell about your opinion, but you seem to have a problem with mine. But I'm not saying any of y'all will do that. I'm just, be nice in the comments to people. Like, you don't know how much work goes into this or how much time I put into it. Just be nice in the comments when you're commenting on videos. But anyway, that's just an aside. It's got nothing to do with this. But, of course, Nico Harrison got fired. We saw that coming the day Luka was gone. I would have made it before that happened, because as the owner, you get wind of these things. You hear about these things. You give the okay. So you should have let him go the second he was about to do it. You should have not let Luka leave that building. But Nico Harrison made one of the worst decisions in NBA history, and he's paying for it. He's now unemployed. Just go look at his Twitter. Until the next time, I'm Roman Gennaro. This is Empire Sports Talk. I'll see you on the next video.